I'll keep booming. All right, it's great to be here. As Joe said, awesome place. Pretty cool, obviously, to be down here, and you definitely get some influences when you go back. As the guys mentioned, Ryan Nagodi, chief of our Dodge, Ram, Fiat, and SRT interiors. Great, awesome program to work on. As Joe mentioned, it's our first kind of collaboration between the Fiat and Chrysler partnership, and I think you're going to see that the stuff that we came out with this vehicle, you know, it's going to be a good partnership. Lots of cool stuff, great package to work on, and then that helped out on the interior. Obviously, this is an entry-level car. You know, that C segment range, you're going to find when you get in the vehicle, you drive it, there's a lot of space, and that's what's cool about some of the proportional stuff that Joe's team had done to the car. I have four kind of key points on the interior. One being finally getting back into and having fun with the sculpture on the interior. You're going to see that when we look at the interior. The second point is use of materials. Really good, high quality materials, and not just in the upper echelon of the price classes. Every single price class has that attention to detail and material usage. Third point, color. So that's another point. Obviously, this interior we have in front of us is all black, but you're going to find out there's 14 interior color combinations that we have throughout the lineup, which really helps to express, kind of go from a mild to wild approach. And then last but not least is technology. Lots of technology packed into it. This car is fully loaded in terms of that, so you guys get a chance to play with some of the stuff on the interior. What led up to the speed that Joe was talking about, really it took 18 months, just a little bit plus of that. It was about what we did prior to that. The 16 refreshed or all new vehicles that we had launched, that was really key in the development of this vehicle. It allowed us to, you know, really start with good fit and finish, good quality, attention to detail that the company really changed, you know, in terms of it wasn't just us, it wasn't just engineering. All of us collectively got together on those 16 vehicles and really changed the game in terms of how we did business. And that helped on the interior. You're going to notice things, like I'm going to point one of those items out, the vents. Play with the vents. There's actually a little rack and pinion system in there. It's attention to that detail in terms of how you go to use something, especially things that you use on a day-to-day basis like the vents. It's that attention to detail and quality, and there's no reason to redefine that every single time you do a vehicle. Just do it good once and replicate that through the lineup. So that's some of the stuff that we did, and that helped to then focus on stuff like the design. So I'm going to open the door. Let me, just to help to show obviously a little bit of that interior. You're going to notice there's just a lot more fun with the sculpture and shapes. It's a lot more of a graceful interior, but it's got that driver-oriented feel to it, you know, that we want to have in our Dodge products. We started that with the Charger. So it has that driver-centric feel. You're not ignoring the passenger, but a little bit more of that performance sort of, you know, driver-centric, a little bit of attitude to it. But the surfacing that leads up to it, you know, is nice and sculptural. The floating island bezel, that's that big black piece. It's kind of got a piano black matte finish on it. That is kind of the quintessential design, you know, element of the interior. And that's really where all the focus is, and that's, I'll talk to a little bit about that later on with the technology. So not only did we have fun with the sculpture, then, you know, you have to back it with some good materials. So this is a limited, but some of the things I'm going to point out, so the instrument panels, 10 to 12 mils of foam, nice squishy feel to it. The top of the brow over the instrument cluster, the door armrest, the console lid, all of those are hand wrapped and stitched, and those are not just on the limited, it's all the way down to the entry-level vehicle, which is I think pretty surprising when you look at the price. You look at the $15,995 price, you pack all that into it, it's pretty impressive. Now there's certain elements like the limited that brings in a 360 grab handle, the uppers are soft, and then we have accent stitching. So there's a few things that obviously help to differentiate between those lower price classes. But again, the materials are good. The seats are pretty impressive, where this style seat is on every single model. So you have a very performance-oriented, you know, nicely bolstered seat. That all it basically changes is you go from a cloth to a leather. So that entry-level, you know, interior has these pretty cool performance-oriented seats. So besides materials, kind of leads into a little bit of a color. we want to sell a lot of these darts, and key with that is that you have some flexibility, you have some customizability, and offering that up to the customer. So there's 14 interior color combinations. You go from some of the traditional stuff like the all black interiors, we have earth tones in our SXT, to some of the more crazier wild stuff in our Rally. So Rally is a little bit more sports oriented. It has a darker front end. We kind of replicate a little bit of that in the interior. We have 2 stripes going up the seats, and there's colors like my shirt. There's actually a citrus peel interior color combination. And it's used within restraint. It's not, you know, big expanses of color, but it's used just to help accent it. We also have on the Limited a nice ceramic and diesel color option, which is, you know, a lot lighter seats. We have that in the Journey as well. And that helps to really just, through each price class, you kind of have a different flavor and feel. And then you get to the top of the line RT, that has a little bit more of that more traditional black and red feel. But there's some cool stuff. All the interiors in Limited and RT have Napa leather, and then our cloth is on the lower lines. Yes. Diesel's like a 85% gray, so a little bit darker gray.